Okay, hey everybody, we'll try this again. Hopefully the internet does okay for us this time.
Okay, still having trouble?
Just keep going.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
Sorry if the video quality is bad. Our internet here, sometimes we have issues with the girl begs for more. Get her no more.
Katie, what are you eating? Katie, what are you eating, honey? Oh, yummy noodles and veggies. Yum, yum.
Okay, so first I wanted to talk about the spaghetti sauce. I talked with you a little earlier about how I chopped up my veggies. I chopped my carrots, my celery, my onion up really fine, and I sauteed that first. Now, if you have kids that are picky eaters, you can get away with putting a lot of veggies in sauces if you cut them up really fine. So I did that. But with my zucchini, I cut them up in bigger chunks because our kids love chunks of zucchini. And because I like it to put it in a little later, so that it's not mushy. So I added that about 15 minutes ago. You can show this here. And I cut up my mushrooms really fine too, and it almost makes like a nice bolognese style pasta where the veggies are almost mocking a meat kind of consistency when you cut them up really fine like that, especially the mushrooms. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, the mushrooms are really important.
But another tip I wanted to give is that I like to add a little bit of this brag. Now that might seem weird, but I made a mushroom bolognese a couple months ago that called for soy sauce. And that brag is like soy sauce, and it just gives it a really nice meaty flavor. So that might seem a little weird, but it's actually quite good. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is if you grow basil, which my mom does, I pick the basil, I puree it with olive oil, garlic, and sea salt, and then I put it in ice cube trays. And then I can pop them out of the ice cube trays and put them in a container in my freezer, and then I can just throw one of those in my pasta. So I did that, my pasta sauce, and it gives it that fresh basil flavor. So we used this Murglen organic, this is a portobello mushroom, no sugar added here. So that's really good quality. Once more. Okay, more for you. Anyways, the kind of pasta sauce that you use really does matter. It matters for flavor, it matters for health-wise. A lot of pasta sauces have hidden sugar in it. So you're going to want to really look for a high-quality pasta sauce. It's going to provide so much nutrition for you, and it's going to be so good for you and taste really good too if you get a good one. I used dulse, which is kind of like a sea salt, natural like seaweed. I don't really know what it is, but I use it in a lot of things. I put some basil
Yeah, it's like
there.
it's like a seaweed. It has sodium in it, so it's a good replacement for salt.
And it adds a nice color too. I also use basil, Italian seasoning, and then I'm going to add our raw garlic to the top of mine and to the top of Blake's when we eat it. I just really like that fresh raw garlic taste. I let Reed pick out the kind of pasta we use. So a little tip for kids. If you let them choose the style of pasta, it makes them a little more motivated to eat. And I always keep my sauce separate from my pasta so that I can kind of tailor his to how he wants it. The food's gone again? You hungry, girl? Yeah! I'll give you a little more of this tofu. Anyways, there's that. And then another tip I wanted to give about kids. This is just where I'm at in my life right now, so I'm always thinking of, okay, what are my kids going to do or eat during this meal? I always try to make mealtime a really no pressure, just fun time. So if he doesn't want to eat something, fine. But I always give it to him. I always put it on his plate, whether he eats it or not. It's his choice. But I always try to have one thing that I know he's going to like. And so for this meal, it's the garlic toast. And I just put butter on it, garlic powder, which is here, I sprinkle this on, and basil. And it makes a really nice garlic toast, which I have in the oven. It's baking over here. I better check on it. But both he and Kate love this garlic toast, and if you were in my kitchen, you could see how good it smells. And I just use regular. This was Dave's killer bread.
Smells good, babe.
But anyhow, they both Reed and Kate will, I know, eat that. So I wanted to touch on that. And I use this Earth Balance. It's olive oil based butter. It spreads really nice. And so if you're looking for a good butter replacement that's vegan, I recommend this. Okay, now on to the big green salad. Better get Kate some more before she starts fussing here.
Any tips for cooking pasta or anything? That's pretty.
It tells you on the box, but lately I've been trying to get the water boiling first and then adding the noodles. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and I just put it all in there and then I don't pay attention to it. I always have Blake test for the tenderness of the noodles because he's kind of picky about that. But usually it'll say right on the box how many minutes you need to boil it.
I'm not high maintenance. I'm a flippin' nightmare.
Yes. Okay, so now on to the big green salad.
No disagreement there.
I use the spring mix from Nature's Pantry. And here's a little tip with the spring mix. When you buy a bag of that and you bring it home, and it's washed and ready to eat, which is convenient. I like to put it in a bigger container in my fridge because in the plastic bags that they keep it in, it can get a little compact in there, which it can go bad faster. But if you transport it to a bigger container, it's got air around it. It stays fresh. Yeah, stays fresh. So, anyways, and then also on this, sure, Reed. Depending on your family, you can cut the veggies up small. We like them bigger, especially for our kids, so that he can because a lot of kids don't want to eat lettuce. So this is just kind of an introductory way. He can pick out the big vegetables that he likes and eat them. And Blake doesn't like carrots, but if I cut him up really big, he can kind of avoid those. And you can put in here whatever you want. I have cucumbers. I actually have a small zucchini that I cut up and just raw in there. Usually we put fresh sprouts on the top. Blake adds that later because he likes that. But just whatever kind of vegetables you like. You know, the sky's the limit. The more the better. We even like to add these to the top sometimes. Or just
pepperoncinis are a good thing to have too. With it
to kick it up a notch.
Sunflower seeds are nice to add to salad.
Oh yeah, and Blake, where did you put those last night?
Oh, they're in the pantry.
Oh well, they have these like a seed and nut mixture that can go on top of salads. You know what the brand is? The name of that is? That's really good on top of salads. We'll
it's
show
just
you later.
Yeah, it's in the snack section by the drink cooler.
It's delicious on top. Okay, now on to the main event. I was dressing. I'm going to show you. I showed you in the last challenge kind of how I did this. Let me scoop this stuff over. Okay, it's Isla. That was my grandmother's name. She ate this way, whole foods, plant-based her whole life. Lived into her 90s. I think we've talked about her a little bit. She was super healthy. And this was a dressing. You okay, baby? This was a dressing that she put on. There you go. With your foot caught over there. On lots of things. My kids love it. They will eat it on their vegetables. Is that what you want? This will help your kids eat their vegetables. At least it does mine. So first, olive oil. And I just put 1 part olive oil. So just a little bit for tonight. And then a 1/2 part lemon juice. And I squirt the lemon juice in there to kind of break up the olive oil. I don't know if that's scientific, but it's just my reasoning there. And I put in brag, 1/2 part brag. And then at the end, I pour in your brewer's yeast. Mine's almost gone. And I just pour that on until I stir it up.
Katie, baby.
I stir it up until it's the consistency I like. If it's too thin, I can add more brag. I test it by doing this. That seems a little thin to me. I'm going to put a little bit more brag in there, or brewer's yeast. Okay. Stir it up again. And here's what it looks like. This is a delicious dressing that we eat on everything. Any kind of vegetable. And then, if you really want to kick it up a notch, by now you can tell we love our raw garlic. Press some raw garlic. And just really makes this divine. Okay? So I've got that to go along with my salad. And then last I wanted to show you over here, I steamed some broccoli. I had been putting the broccoli in with my spaghetti sauce, but it kind of turned brown. It wasn't really good in the sauce. So I like to steam it on the side, and you can eat it in with your spaghetti or on the side, but it's just really good with this dish.
I love meals with a big green salad and steamed broccoli together. Yes. It's just like, really feels like you're getting all the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients you need with whatever your main dish is. But if you're getting a big helping of vegetables, steamed and raw, man, that is what your body needs. And the more you eat those food, the more your body is like, yes, please give me that kind of food.
And you're going to feel really good after eating this dinner. I wanted to tell you with the broccoli, I like to squirt a little lemon juice on that and salt and pepper and kind of just toss it, and it is perfect that way. You can put a little bit of our dressing on that if you like, but it is just really good. So, just to show you how it all kind of looks together, plate out here. Blake, why don't you talk about the bonus points while I get this?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you guys about, just to clarify on the bonus points. So if you watch this class and you make the recipe, you get 5 bonus points. So just put it in there on the day that you do it. Put it into your challenge program guide points. And so that's just an extra bonus points. None of the recipes we're doing are from any of the cookbooks, so there's not a bonus point for the cookbook for these recipes, but you do get the 1 point for the plant-based meal, and you get the 5 bonus points for watching this video and doing the recipe. Yeah, and as we've started to do this challenge, I had made some revisions on this second version from the first version and on the nutrition side of it. And I was trying to be a little more clear and specific about what I wanted. But after I've done it for a few days, I'm like, oh, it's too strict. So I'm actually making some revisions to the nutrition plan, the nutrition portion of this challenge. And I'm going to send that out probably tomorrow and explain that a little better. But just so you know, the goal here is just progress. It's not perfection. Yeah, we're trying to, wherever you are at, we want to be improving from where that is. It's not necessarily to eat, 100% organic, 100% whole food plant-based, unless, like for Missy and I, that's kind of our next step really, is kind of where we're striving towards. But wherever you're at, if that's not where you're at or that's not where you're going, just add in some greens, add in some plant-based foods, add in some organic foods. We're trying to avoid animal products right now, but we're not 100% against animal products. I mean, I think there's a lot of things out there that show the health benefits of at least minimizing those. But look, I mean, if you're going to do this, just try to get the cleanest source you can, the organic, the grass-fed, things that are wild caught, wild game.
I view meat as kind of a treat. Like, I went out, I ordered from Side A and I got their burger a few weeks ago, and that was like a treat to me. It was something special for a special occasion. Anyhow, that's how I particularly view that whole thing.
Yeah, there was a question about our monthly food budget on here. It's quite high. I mean, I'm sure it's much higher than what you would do if you shopped at Walmart or Costco. But look, we believe health is the greatest wealth. We believe that, we'd rather invest the money in our health early on in our lives than pay for it later with health problems, quality of life, pay for it in hospital visits, prescription drugs, surgeries.
And we've noticed, at least I've noticed, that my skin is clearer when I eat this way. Actually, when this whole coronavirus thing started, I was feeling a little nervous and So I completely cut out sugar. I was eating the Nature's Pantry oranges or grapefruits every day. I went really clean for a while because I was kind of freaked out about this whole virus thing. I lost like 7 pounds. And I had the peace of mind of knowing that I was doing everything I could to stay healthy during this time. And we stay healthy. Our kids are healthy. When they get sick, they get over it pretty quickly. So I really think that it's worth it. To spend a little bit of the extra money to have that quality of life.
I mean, look, it's about what your priorities are, right? So is your priorities driving a new car or, whatever the options are? Not that those things are bad in themselves.
We don't have nice fancy cars. So.
Well, I mean, they're not bad.
They're not bad.
But the point is, what's your priority and what's going to be, what's going to be good for the long run? Like a lot of things seem good in the short run and lead to short-term satisfaction, but they cause damage in the long run. While as the things like eating raw vegetables don't really seem that attractive in the short run, they actually lead to long-term happiness and health in the long run. And, we want to be there. We want to have a vibrant life clear up until our, God willing, as long as we live, 70s, 80s, 90s. We've certainly had family members and friends live a vibrant life clear into their 90s. And I've seen the opposite. I've seen people in their 40s and 50s who are, having major health complications.
But the wonderful thing about this is it's not like if you haven't been eating healthy that it's too late. Because, and you'll discover this when you watch Forks Over Knives. There was a man in that video who switched to a plant-based diet, and all of his symptoms just got better. All of his sugar numbers, all of his stuff drastically improved because of his diet changes. So, especially if you're struggling with health issues, I would encourage you to consider doing this just even for a month and see what it does for you. Yeah.
In between we had a challenge a couple months ago, and this is the second one. And between those two times, I started doing some cheese and some other things that weren't as kind of falling back into some of my old eating habits. And I really stopped feeling as good. I have some sinus stuff that goes on when I eat that way. I also have that my digestion is so much better when I'm eating a lot of whole food, plant-based meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And energy, I just feel good. I don't feel bloated and tired and sick after I eat.
Yeah, that's something I notice too. When I eat whole foods, plant-based, I don't get that bloated, like, flabby feeling.
Yeah.
And, I don't run when I can. I walk when I can. I do 10-minute ab routines in the morning if she'll let me. But I'm able to maintain my weight and even lose weight and feel good and toned when I eat this way, even if I can't get those hardcore workouts in like I would like to. So. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I noticed a little bit of belly fat coming back too, just from the few weeks that I was slipping in my habits. And, so, yeah, I mean, what we ask about what the budget is for living healthy, and healthy lifestyle. It's more about the costs. Let's weigh the costs. What is more important to you in the long run?
Yeah, and wherever you're at, if you've made the step to do this challenge, you're headed in a step in the right direction. This kind of change does not happen overnight. You should be proud of yourself for wherever you're at that you're even thinking about it. Because so many people just mindlessly, eat whatever. So you're thinking about it, and even thinking about it is a positive step in the right direction.
Yeah, and look, 7 or 8. How long ago did we get married? 9. Anyway, when we got
it'll be 9 years.
9 years. So when we got married, I told Misty, I said, we're gonna live a life of great value, referring to the Walmart brand.
You wanted me to buy cheap groceries.
And how wrong was I? I mean, it hasn't happened overnight for us. It's been a long time. Started working at the store and. We're just making slow changes over time. I think making major health issues, but also let's take the pressure off. Like hard, fast rules aren't necessarily good, and making unattainable goals aren't good. So let's keep it simple. Let's keep it easy. Let's keep it attainable.
Instead of focusing on what you can't have, think about what you can have. And all of this, I mean, this is delicious. We love this dinner. We eat this all the time. I mean, I don't like to nitpick and read labels. That becomes too obsessive, at least for me personally. I think everyone's different. Maybe some people really need to go to that place. But for me, just thinking about, okay, what's healthy? What can I cook? What do my kids like to eat? What does my husband like to eat? What tastes good to me? And thinking about that and making meals with those ingredients. And, you know, I'm not the kind of person who likes to follow a recipe. I just kind of think about what sounds good to me and make something. You know, not everybody's like that. Some people like to follow a recipe, and there's so many great recipes out there. Wherever you're at, though, think about what you can have versus what you can't have.
Yeah.
And when you focus on what you can have, it's just a much more positive mindset.
Yeah, and you know, if you mess up in this challenge or you do anything, you know, it's okay. Get up, dust yourself off, go again. You know, there's been times when I ate bad for weeks on end. There's been times where I didn't exercise for weeks on end. You know, but we just keep getting up. We keep going again, and we just keep improving over time. Mm-hmm. Small habits lead to big change over time. Health is the greatest wealth. You are worth it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please post some pics of your veggie spaghetti that you make on the group page. Let's see if we always say she goes bib diving because she's got this trough that catches her food, and then she goes in there.
You want to wave bye-bye?
Grabbing
You say
her.
bye-bye? Bye-bye, everybody?
Bye, Kate. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.